When a partner has been unfaithful in a relationship, it is very, very difficult for the other person to accept that their partner has chosen somebody else above them. And it tears at the confidence, the self-confidence of the person who's been cheated on. It causes in their minds a sense of betrayal. It makes them lack confidence in themselves. They start to doubt what they had in the past and indeed what the future can hold for the relationship. Infidelity is a robber. It robs people of their self-confidence, their self-esteem. It robs people of truth in a relationship. It robs people of the ability to believe anything else their partner tells them. And sincerely, infidelity is an inability to set boundaries in relationships. When a person is in a relationship, you must set boundaries and know where a relationship, somebody of the opposite sex who is not your partner, where it should end. But however, there is hope. It's possible to forgive infidelity. Forgiveness, it is said, is the final form of love. Forgiveness is the final form of love. It doesn't change the fact that it has happened, but it enlarges the future if the two of them are willing to work at it and willing to sincerely forget about it and look forward to the future. However, the spouse that has been guilty of infidelity needs to be repentant. Otherwise, it loses all of the process. The whole process loses steam if he's not repentant. For instance, if he's always unfaithful to his partner, one day he's forgiven, another day he's found in adultery again or infidelity, then it shows that he is really not repentant. Now, forgiveness of infidelity is a tall order. For the person who has been offended, it is a tall order to ask for forgiveness. When your spouse, however, wants to restore the relationship, it is good for you to give him a chance or her a chance to restore the relationship. Forgiveness takes time. Forgiveness requires healing, and it takes a lot of work. It takes take time when you have been offended by your partner in the form of infidelity. Take time to heal. Many people will say, "Oh, forgive him," and we always use that word "forgive" very, very loosely and carelessly in counseling, because forgiveness is not something that you just decide this moment and it happens. You have to actually build your forgiveness. You have to build your heart, to build trust for the future in the relationship. Take time to reflect. What did you do wrong? What led your partner to be unfaithful? Sometimes men go out. When I say men now, a partner goes out because he's not sexually satisfied at home. Sometimes it is simply that he cannot set boundaries, he cannot control himself, and he probably needs help. But many times there are signs that one has not looked out for or has not noticed that his partner is straying. And so that's why I say, ask yourself, where did you go wrong? What happened? Or what were the signs that you chose to ignore because they just were not, you could not imagine that your spouse would be unfaithful to you? But take time to reflect. Take time to ask yourself, am I willing to forgive this? Is this relationship important enough to me to save? Because if the relationship is not important to you to save, then there's no need. The only kind of forgiveness you need to do at that point is how to move forward in your own life. But if you want to forgive the spouse and to restore the relationship, it's important that you take time to resume sex. Yes, I said that. Take time to resume sex, because sincerely, that is the only way that you can restore your relationship, your sexual relationship. But don't rush into it, because yes, you have been hurt. There will be times that he or she will touch you and you just imagine that, was that how they were touching the person that they were unfaithful with? So you have to go through that period too. You have to grieve. Grieving is important, but it is not impossible to forgive the person. Imagine when we lose our loved ones, we grieve, and over time, life happens again. We find love, we find laughter. That is the same in a relationship that has been offended by infidelity. Take time to resume sex if you must. Of course, if your partner has contracted some kind of disease, help them to ensure that they get properly treated, because otherwise it'll all come back to you. Recognize that trust has been broken in the relationship and it needs to be rebuilt. Don't reheat their sins for them once you have decided that you want to forgive and you want to work on restoring the relationship. Don't remind them each time that is that how such and such a person behaved when you was making love to you, or when you are making love to them. That don't talk about it. Don't obsess about the person that has cheated with your partner. Another thing that you should do whilst you're healing, in the process of healing, is that I suggest that you journal. Yes, I did say that. Journal. Write down your feelings, write down the way you felt, and you will find out that journaling is very therapeutic. In another few days, in another few weeks, you will find that you feel better, especially when you read back at your journal and see how far you have come. Having said all of that, I know that forgiveness is difficult. It is very, very difficult. It makes one feel small. It makes one wonder, why do I deserve this? But at the end of the day, it is worth all the effort, and I wish you well. Try and forgive, because forgiveness is good.